Hello students, I am Dr. Divya Tripathi and in this lecture I am going to teach you a new topic that is gel electrophoresis. So the first question is, what is electrophoresis? The electrophoresis is made up of two terms. The one is electro and the second one is phoresis. We know that phoresis is the separation of molecules, and if we are adding electro in phoresis, it means we are going to use electrical power to separate molecules or particles, right? So electrophoresis is use of electricity to separate particle. And why we are saying gel electrophoresis? Because in this type of technique we are going to use gel as a separating medium, right? So I think it is clear to you that what this term electrophoresis means. These are some prerequisites to understand this topic. You should know what are the cations and how or towards which pole they move. Similarly, you should know anions and their movement. You should understand the concept of cathode and anode, means which type of electrode the cathode is, what type of charge it has, same for anode, and you must aware with the basic structure of proteins and nucleic acid. See, in case of protein, we know that proteins are the zeta ions that has both the positive and negative charge on the same molecule, and it has some isoelectronic point and it behaves like a zeta ion. You should also know that what type of charge a nucleic acid has. Generally, the nucleic acid has overall negative charge and it will move towards the positive electrode, you can say anode, under electric charge. So these are the some prerequisites that you should understand to you should be aware to understand the lecture gel electrophoresis. Rest in the coming lecture we will discuss the structure of agarose and gel in the upcoming lecture, but this lecture is based on the basics of gel electrophoresis and their type. So you should be aware with these type of terms only. Now, what are the objectives, or you can say learning outcome of this lecture? After the end of this lecture, you will be able to explain the principle and performance of electrophoresis as it applies to nucleic acids. You will be able to compare and contrast agarose and polyacrylamide amide gel polymers. You will be able to explain the principle and performance of capillary electrophoresis as it is applied to nucleic acid separation as well. You will be able to describe the general types of equipment used for electrophoresis, and at last you will be able to discuss method application of pulse field gel electrophoresis and to compare and contrast detection system used in nucleic acid separation application. Now, the electrophoresis is based on the principle that the nucleic acids move from negative to positive pole. See, if we are talking about nucleic acid, we know that nucleic acid are the polynucleotide. Polynucleotide means it has bases deoxyribosugar and or ribosugar in case of RNA and phosphate as a backbone. So if I am saying nucleic acid moves from negative to positive anode, it means it is clear now that nucleic acid has overall negative charge, right? And if the molecule has negative charge, we call them as an anion, and if the molecule has positive charge, we call them as a cation. And you should remember each and every time that the cation always moves towards the cathode and the anion always moves towards the anode. It means if cation is moving towards the cathode, your cathode is a negative pole or negative electrode, and if anion is moving towards the anode, it means your anode is a positive charge electrode, because minus attract plus and plus attract minus. This is the basic principle of electrophoresis. Separation on the basis of charge and size is actually the principle of electrophoresis, any type of electrophoresis. And if we are using gel as a medium, then it will be termed as a gel electrophoresis. See, as you already see in the animation, the movement of molecules like nucleic acids and DNA, nucleic acid like DNA and RNA, and the larger protein molecule is impeded in the gels so that the molecules will collect or form a band according to their speed of migration. You can see here, this is the percentage of agarose given 2%, 4% and 5%. See, and we are going to separate the same mixture using these three type of agarose gel. What will happen if the concentration of agarose is more? It will more resist the movement of larger molecules and separate larger molecules from the smaller molecules more precisely, and we will get clear bands over here. When we are using less concentrated agarose, the resistance towards the molecules will be less and we are getting such type of bands. But if we are having perfect concentration of agarose, we will get clear band of our biomolecules. Ultimately, we can see that the concentration of gel or buffer will affect the resolution of fragments of different size. See, this gel electrophoresis may be either of horizontal type or of vertical type. What are the difference between horizontal and vertical type of gel electrophoresis? You can see here, in horizontal gel electrophoresis, the movement of molecules is from left hand side to right hand side, right? And in vertical gel electrophoresis, the movement is from top to bottom. Means this vertical type of gel electrophoresis also under the impact of or the influence of gravitational force, and this type of gel electrophoresis will give result earlier when we compare vertical electrophoresis with horizontal electrophoresis. But both have some advantages and disadvantages that we will learn in the next coming slides. If we are going to separate very large DNA molecules, then we have to use a different type of gel electrophoresis, pulsed field gel electrophoresis. You can see here, this has a different setup. Like we have 4 different electrode system. This is one showing the movement from minus to plus, again minus to plus, and here after reaching at this plus end, we will again have another setup of plus minus to plus. Okay, and in this type of electrophoresis, the movement of DNA molecule takes place in a zigzag mode. We will explain this gel electrophoresis PFGL in a separate lecture. Just understand why we are using this in order to separate larger molecules of DNA. Now, the pulse field gel electrophoresis may be of many types. Field inversion gel electrophoresis, that is known as the FIGE. In this electrophoresis, alternating positive and negative poles has been used. The second type is TAFE, or you can say transverse alternative field electrophoresis. In this electrophoresis, transverse angles reorientation of poles on a vertical gel has been used. The third one is chef. This is not that hotel wala chef. It is counter clamped homogeneous electric field. In this type of electrophoresis, alternating polarity in an electrode array has been used. And the last one is rotating gel electrophoresis, in which a rotating gel with fixed poles has been used. We will discuss these type of electrophoresis in detail in a separate lecture, because this lecture is actually based on the basics of gel electrophoresis and their different types. Now another type of gel electrophoresis, that is PAGE, and the full form of PAGE is polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. You know, the acrylamide is a combination of a cross-linker methylene bis-acrylamide. This is a synthetic consistent polymer, and that is used with polymerization catalyst named ammonium persulfate plus N tetramethyl diamine, that is in short known as TAMET, or light activation, that is dissolved 1 BP difference in a 1 kb molecule, and the percentage difference is 0.1. The third type of electrophoresis is capillary electrophoresis, or CE. In this type of electrophoresis, separation of solute takes place by charge by mass ratio, not on the basis of charge separately, not on the basis of mass separately, but separation occurs on the basis of charge by mass ratio. If charge is more and mass is more, then it will have medium type of molecule. If charge is more and mass is less, it will give larger charge mass ratio. And if mass is more and charge is less, it means the molecule has less ratio, and the separation will occur on the basis of that ratio only. The capillary gel electrophoresis is used to separate nucleic acid and protein molecule. In capillary gel electrophoresis, a thin glass of fused silica capillary has been used with the dimension of 30 to 100 cm into 25 to 100 micrometer internal diameter. Linear or cross-linked polyacrylamide or other linear polymers are used for sieving. Separation has been based on the basis of size. This technique is more rapid and automated than slab gel and can run at higher charge per unit area. In this type of technique, we use electrokinetic injection of sample. Now, electrophoresis buffers. So first, we should understand what is buffer. The buffers are the solution that resist the change in the pH. See, in electrophoresis, we generally use the separation. We use this technique for the separation of biomolecules. So we have to keep the pH of the solution still, or you can say unchanged, because if we increase the acidity or basicity of the molecule, the DNA molecule or the protein molecule may get denatured and will be of no use after electrophoresis. So let's understand what are the electrophoresis buffers. See, carry current and protect samples during electrophoresis is the main function of electrophoresis buffers, and the examples are tris borate EDTA, that is known as TBE, tris acetate EDTA, that is known as TAE, tris phosphate EDTA, that is known as TPE. These are the most commonly used buffers for the separation of DNA using electrophoresis. See, 10 millimole sodium phosphate and MOPS buffers used for RNA separation. Buffers additives has also been used to modify the sample molecules, and the examples are formamide and urea. These are also known as the denaturing agent. Now let's have an idea about the electrophoresis equipment. You can see this is a electrophoresis system. We have a negative electrode over here on the left hand side and positive electrode on the right hand side. And I already told you the positive electrode is anode and the negative electrode is cathode. See, we have a gel plate over here, and this whole system is filled with a buffer solution. And now what will we do? We will mark our sample over here on the negative side of electrode, and when we complete the circuit, the movement of these biomolecules take place and they will get separated on the basis of their different charge and different size. This is how the electrophoresis equipment works. The second component used in the electrophoresis equipment are the combs. See, these are somewhat similar to the combs that we use for the dressing of our hairs. These combs are used to make grooving at the gel so that we can fill that grooves or wells with the sample mixture that has to be separated. Right? There are two types of combs present for this purpose. Regular comb. These combs are used for wells separated by an ear of gel, and the second one is houndstooth comb. Wells immediately adjacent to each other, means the groove formed by regular comb have some distance in between them, whereas the wells formed by this houndstooth comb are very much near to each other, and this can be used for the preparative gel electrophoresis, and this is for the analytical purpose. Now, how to run a gel for gel electrophoresis? We have to use proper gel concentration of sample size range. Generally, we use 0.5 to 5% of agarose or 3.5 to 20% of polyacrylamide. We have to use proper comb and gel size. See, this is a picture of a gel electrophoresis. This is the instrument. You can see here these are the different electrodes and these are the sampling. Microcylinder has been used to fill the groove formed by the comb, and then after closing the circuit, the separation will occur on the gel plate. Now, after the running of the electrophoresis, the next step is detection of band. This can be done by staining either during or after electrophoresis, and the stains that are used, some common stains that are used: ethidium bromide, that is used for the double stranded Na, cypr green and cyber gold, that is used for single or double stranded DNA and for RNA as well, and silver stain, this is more sensitive for single and double stranded Na and for RNA as well as for proteins. These are the types of stain used for the staining of nucleic acid either during or after electrophoresis. These are some references that has been used to prepare this lecture. Wilson and Walker is the most famous book based on the principle and techniques of biochemistry and molecular biology, and I have also referred some websites to prepare this lecture. Thank you so much for your patience.